What's up, y'all? This is Brave, and I'm back with another review of The Chi. I know this review is coming out a little bit late, but y'all rock with me because, baby, this episode, there were some moments that frustrated me, and then there were some moments that I'm just like, you gotta be kidding me. Let's get into it. This is Season 7, Episode 8. The episode is titled, A Bet is a Bet. Oh, I'm not about to go in order. I'm just about to go link some storylines together because that makes more sense for me. First person I want to talk about and get them out the way is Dom. We see the sister circle, right? Now the sister circle has shrunk. It is only Keisha, who else was there? Tracy and Dom. Yeah, what are we having a sister circle for? Keisha is whining and crying about the fact that she's a mom and how that just takes all her energy. Y'all, I cannot lie. As much as I love Keisha's character, I hate the way her character is written. Because now, being a mother is her whole personality. And I hate that for her. That girl had so many dreams. She was so ambitious. And once they kidnapped that girl, her life has been going downhill. Like, yeah, she got the little love story with Emmett, but be so for real. I'm just not into it. But besides that, Dom tells the ladies that she doesn't want children. She's never wanted kids, and that's just going to be that. Later on in the episode, we see her talking to Jamal, and basically he's like, when I got shot, I realized that I didn't have like a legacy, and, I don't even have a kid on this earth. Baby, she don't want kids. So when y'all gonna go ahead and get this whole marriage annulled? Because I just feel like kids is something that is a non-negotiable. Either you want them or you don't. If both partners are not on the same playing field, it never works. Moving on. Let's slide on over to Nuck, because Nuck is out here meeting with Detective Toussaint. Okay? And the only thing that girl is concerned about, or should I say that woman, is getting Reg. I need to get Reg. I need to get Reg. That's the only thing that is on her mind. And I'm kind of annoyed with her at this point because I'm like, girl, you're not even playing your cards right because you sit right next to a killer. I mean, right next to one. But you so busy focused on Reg, when really you need to be focused on everybody from, 63rd, 43rd Street Mob, whatever the gang is called. I'm just like, that this man is now in charge and he's taking the place of where Doodah was. You don't think that, like, he could be up to something or that you need to, like, arrest him on something? I'm not understanding. Like, I just really want Little Miss Detective to do her job because this ain't it. And, like, for me, she keeps saying how she wants to get Reg so her son can be free. How is that gonna happen? Like, did Reg kill the person that your son is locked up for? Because you over here trying to get him as Rob's killer. Those two things don't correlate. What are we talking about? Like, can y'all, please, somebody in the comments, explain to me how things are connecting. Because it ain't connecting for me, okay? And then she basically tells him, if you look out for me, then I can look out for you. So now what you giving Nuck immunity? What are we talking about? But Nuck says that he'll think about it, right? He ends up going to talk to Pastor Ezekiel. I still don't understand this relationship, but they talk, and basically Pastor Ezekiel is like, listen, maybe it might be a good thing, to have the feds on your side because they protect thugs and gangbangers more than they protect civilians. So Nuck takes that advice and he decides to tell Detective Toussaint that, yeah, he'll work with her. And I'm just like, yo, why is Nuck so soft? Like, it just seemed like they really trying to make Nuck into this softie. And I'm just like, can he go back to running the whorehouse? That sounds so horrible. But, like, it's not making sense. Like, it's not even making sense that Nuck has been around for holidays. Nuck has been around for baby showers. Well, we know he's been a menace and terrible to the city. He's honestly no different than Reg. But he gets to come to all of the fancy events around the city. It makes no sense. But I digress. Like I said, he has agreed to work with Toussaint, and according to her, now he has to put in the work and become friends with Reg. He don't want to do that, but hey, that's what you signed up for, dum-dum. But let's go ahead and move on. So the next, you know what? We're going to move right on over to Pastor Ezekiel. Because when I tell you it was a lot of him in this episode and I was not here for it, baby, I was not. So we see him, he's over there practicing his sermon, right? His daughter Kenya is back. And I'm just like, why is she here? She's like, yeah, I'm back for good this time. And she ends up questioning him on why the black women parishioners, I said parishioners? Parishioners. Who uses that word? Y'all. She could have just said, so where the black church ladies at? Because they not up in here. What was that? You know what? I'm going to let it go. So basically, she's like, where the black girls at? Where the black women at who be looking at you at the pulpit? And he's like, well, you know, they don't like the fact that I have a white girlfriend. Again, my whole thing is that y'all acting like Sarah is somebody new. Wasn't Sarah already working at the church? So wouldn't they already be familiar with this white girl? Child, I guess. He tells her that, you know, Papa, his office is not too far from there. Because she was like, you know, I like that Papa's still around. Girl, not you trying to circle the block to Papa. When really you wanted a bad boy like Zay. I'm not understanding. I am not understanding this, okay? Now, moving on from there, we do see a conversation between Papa and Kenya happen, and basically, we finally figure out what happened to the church that belonged to Papa Daddy. Y'all, pretty much, Pastor Zeke gave them the money. He bought the church. I said, wait a second, you asked for a loan. How did he buy the church? What are we talking about? According to Papa, that man bought the church, but kept it in their names. Y'all, I need to see the deed. What are we talking about? I thought he was going to loan them the money so that way the church can stay afloat. We ain't talking nothing about no ownership because I just don't see Papa's mama going for that at all. Or am I tripping? I guess, whatever. That's just how the show was written. So, Papa is over there, I guess you could say, flirting with Kenya. And I'm just like, I just don't see it. I don't see it for Kenya and Papa. We can get some new girls on the screen. And I mean, that's across the board. Across the board, there should be some new young girlies coming onto the scene. Nuck should not have to look at Tiff. Nuck could definitely pull something else, considering he like head honcho at this point. Even though we're not operating like he's head honcho. Victor can pull something else. He don't need to be with Tiff. Papa can absolutely get a girl that actually likes him, that don't like one of his homeboys instead, or some other man around town. Like, I'm not understanding. The only time we get to see Jake with a girl is when he just laid up with him. Like, what is this show doing? Y'all, I'm really confused. They keep bringing all these random characters in and out of here. And I mean, on this episode, we had, 3 guest stars? We had Karrueche, Phylicia Rashad, Wendy Raquel Robinson, and I love all these women. But I'm just kind of like, that's cool. But I think we need some new love interests around here. Because I'm tired of this full circle. And we're going to talk about the full circle in a minute. When we talk about Victor and Tiff. But back to Papa and Kenya. So basically, she invites him over to come meet her mama and her grandmother, right? We had got this one random scene of Papa and the pastor, and Kenya didn't care, skipped right on over it. Let's get to the house. So we get to Kenya mama house, right? I was annoyed because Papa introduced himself as Papa. Sir, you're meeting someone's mother. Why aren't you introducing yourself as Stanley? You could absolutely be like, oh yeah, they call me Papa, but sir, your name's Stanley. What are you doing right now? And then also, I was a little confused. For some reason, I thought that this was Pastor Zeke's mother. Because I could have sworn they set it up when Kenya was going away that she was going to be staying with his mother, not her mother's mother. Or am I crazy? I don't think I am. But nonetheless, they decided to mention how Kenya was supposedly oh so heartbroken because, Papa left her, or should I say dumped her, when his dad had passed away. And I'm just like, well, the boy's dad passed away. Like, relax. But also at the same time, I feel like she was more heartbroken over Zay. So why are we acting like this was her major heartbreak? She should have been heartbroken when her baby daddy left her. But I digress. Besides that, here comes the grandmother, aka Phylicia Rashad. Looks amazing, right? And she is all types of mad about this white woman. Okay? They even have dinner, and the whole conversation is about Pastor Ezekiel and his white woman. I'm drained at this point. And also, why did they have that child at that table? Y'all, why did they have that little child at that table, aka Kenya's son, while they're having this adult conversation? I'm just like, no, remove that baby. Remove that baby from this table now, okay? Now, I did laugh when Kenya's grandmother was like, yeah, because Pastor Zeke, you left my daughter for a younger woman who was dating men who were even younger, aka Jake. I laughed. I really did. But also, I'm just like, okay, wait a second. So, because it was later revealed that the first wife, Kenya's mother, cheated on Pastor Zeke. So I'm like, okay, wait, hold on. So yes, Pastor Zeke seemed like he is absolutely too involved in the church. He does nothing for his home and family life. I get all that. But, okay, the first black woman you was with, she cheated on you. Then you go to the young hot thing, and she cheated on you. Maybe it was time for him to move on to a white woman. Because the black girls is cheating on his ugly ass. But y'all, that was pretty much the same with them. Moving on. Another scene that I want to talk about real quick is, what's his name? I think his name is Elijah. Professor. Y'all know the professor. Professor, I think it's Gardner. So basically, he has a meeting with somebody. I don't even know who he was meeting with. I don't know if she was a dean or somebody who worked at the college. Either way, she's like, listen, I see that you have been helping somebody out around this motherfucker, and I pulled that person's file, and basically they're not even worth helping. AKA, Bakari's grades are not where they're supposed to be. She did read a couple of pages of the book, and she's like, yeah, I guess he have a voice, but at the same time, why is he here? What are you saying in Bakari? Because she ain't seeing it. And then you got Alicia to give this boy a scholarship. However, she's like, I already know that Alicia is friends with your wife. So that was probably a connection there. But if we're going to bend the rules for people, they got to at least be worthy of it. And y'all, this is what I've been saying this entire time about this whole storyline with Bakari and the professor. I can understand if he wanted to just guide him. You know what I'm saying? Guide him outside of college and then, help him enroll in community college or something. But I needed us to be so for real. That boy had what? A junior high school education? I don't think he ever even went to high school. Also, on top of that, we had somebody who was deserving of a scholarship, and it was Lene. Why did we completely skip over her? That right there could have been a storyline of her competing with somebody else to get this damn scholarship. Like, when I tell you, the writers have dropped the ball so many times on this show, it's pissing me off, okay? Because I just feel like Bakari was never deserving. I really don't care about his life story. Like, his life story was not that powerful for him to get a scholarship to go enroll in college. And we just gonna skip over him getting a GED. How about that? That's what Professor could have been doing. He could have been helping that boy pass to get the GED. Or at least the community college thing. But Actual college, 4 years? Stop playing. So now the professor is out here looking stupid. But we gonna go ahead and move on because we gotta talk about Victor and Tiffany. So basically, we see Victor and Tiff. They are flirting at the cigar lounge, which is so crazy to me that Tiff is pregnant, and she is running a cigar lounge. And it's just like, girl, you shouldn't even be in that lounge considering what that lounge probably smells like because of so many cigars and weed being lit up, and you're pregnant. Or am I tripping? Is that not how that works? Whatever. Just whatever. Anyways, those two are flirting with each other. He says that he's going to go to a show that BJ the Chicago kid is going to be at. And she's like, okay, well, you didn't invite me. I like BJ or whatever. So he invites her. We see them at the concert. They having a whole little moment. After the concert, she invites him into the house for them to share a kiss and then for him to go home. Sis, why'd you invite him into the house? Was you trying to get him to come upstairs? Because he could have kissed you on the porch. What are we doing? Also, who was peeping around the corner? Alicia. So Alicia saw everything. Here's my thing. You would think that Alicia would have cameras in her house. I would rather her be watching cameras than for her to always just be peeking around corners in the house. So, after all of this, Victor now confides in his boy Rashad. He's like, yo, Tiff kind of got my mind going. And Shada's like, okay, well, you ain't the only one who after her because you already know that Nuck has been on her for a minute. And he says he ain't worried about Nuck. So Victor is not worried about Nuck at all. Like, it is what it is. But Shada's like, okay, so what about Emmett? Because, you have to have a conversation with him. Victor's like, what conversation? Why would I need to talk to him? And of course, Shad is like, because that's his ex-wife. Y'all, I completely forgot that Tiff was an ex-wife. I really, really forgot. But nonetheless, Victor, he does say, you know what? That's what I'm going to do. So he has the conversation with Emmett, y'all. And he told Emmett that they kissed or whatever. He's like, before I start bringing her around, I just don't want anything to be really awkward. Baby, you can tell that Emmett felt the way, but he can't say anything because at the end of the day, him and Tiff ended so long ago. He's with Keisha. Like, he shouldn't feel any type of way, but honestly, I understand why he would. And not so much from the perspective of, oh, that's my ex-wife, but also it's just kind of like, all these people you supposed to be cool with and they kind of after your ex. That's a little weird. It is a little weird that everybody is on Tiff right now. Because that just makes me wonder, baby, if anything ever happens to Emmett, I know y'all gonna be on Keisha. Like, what is going on? But again, this is my issue with the show. Like, we have everybody constantly dating in the same circle. And I hate the TV shows do this because in the real world, baby, we are not dating in the same circles. I'm sorry. There's never been a time where me and my homegirls, we're dating the same people ever. No, thank you. We don't do that around here. But you know what? Emmett just got to take it on the chin and it's just got to be what it is because Tiff is not his girl anymore. Moving on from there, y'all. Since I brought up Emmett, we're just going to go ahead and run down the whole situation with his family. Because, baby, it has been a lot this episode. First, starting off with Darnell. He ends up dropping Damien off to one of his gambling anonymous meetings. And I will say I was very glad that Darnell got out that car and was like, I'm making sure that you are in this meeting because you've already played in our face one too many times. You're going to this meeting, okay? So basically we learned that Damien is actually staying with Emmett and Keisha. But honestly, I felt like the better storyline would have been if he would have been staying with Darnell and Jada and he could have been helping her with this cancer journey. To me, that's the better story. But no, we got this. I digress. So Damien, he even mentions how, he would have rather stay with Darnell and Jada, considering their house was pretty decent. Y'all remember when he bought the house, right? When they had got married. I'm pretty sure that house was like a 3-bedroom house. Why is he crashing on Emmett's couch? Like, make that make sense. But I digress. Darnell tells him, no, you can't stay there because there's a lot going on. I'm just like, okay, so now y'all are hiding this information. So we get to the meeting. Damien is there. He catches the eye of a cute girl. We never got her name. Actually, we did get her name. I think it was Zari. Or Zuri. Either way, cute girl, played by Karrueche Tran, and they just over there giggling, giving each other the eyes, and we learned a little bit about her. So basically they talk, and she's like, I've been coming to this meeting for about 3 years, and they're flirting. Next thing you know, they're smashing, all up in the bathroom. She ends up putting her number in his phone and walking away. I'm just like, okay, so we will definitely be seeing her again. Cool. So while all that's happening, we see Darnell. He's roaming around the halls of all the anonymous meetings that are happening. And there was a grieving partners group. And we meet Riley, played by Wendy Raquel Robinson. And he goes in there. And, he got his name tag on and everything. And I feel like this is something that Darnell needs. Forget that little men's group, because they just playing. We don't need the men's group. Really, we need this right here, because these are people who are fully understanding the emotions that he's about to go through, okay? So we do see Riley. She's up there telling her story about her husband. And it's a story that Darnell can relate to heavily, because it's like, oh, they were high school sweethearts and they just thought they would be together forever and have so much time together. But, that's just not what happened with, I think it was cancer that took her husband. So after the meeting, Riley and Darnell talk. And at first she thought he was a creep because... Jada ain't dead. So she's like, why are you here? Because that's some creepy shit. And once he told her, like, no, but, my partner is passing away, she kind of understood better. And she ended up telling him how there's actually another group for people who are where he is. Right now, with Jada still being alive, but that your partner is not going to be here, forever. Okay? And I thought that was really cool. So I would really like to see Riley and Darnell bond, not in a romantic way. Please, no. That's not what I'm asking for. But somebody to just kind of be like encouraging to him, or you know what I mean? Something. But we'll see if they even bring her back. So Damien, he ends up coming out. He's like knocking on the door. He's like, Dad, like, let's go. And Darnell's like, don't you see that I'm talking to somebody right now? So then Damien ends up seeing the sign on the door that says grieving partners. And that's when he put 2 and 2 together, that something is going on with Jada. So when they get back to the car, Damien, of course, questioned his dad, like, why was you in that meeting? And we do see Darnell break down, and he has to admit that Jada is dying. Oh, I felt so bad in that moment. I felt so bad. Because, they thought that this was going to be forever. And unfortunately, forever is about to be cut short, because they're saying that Jada is about to pass away. Like, I can't. I can't, because we really do love Jada's character. And I feel like they haven't utilized her character how they should have over the years. But I'm going to let that go. I'm going to let it go. Because we do see Jada and Darnell. They're at the house. And Jada, she's literally going through a bunch of pictures, right? And it finally hit her that she may not be here when the baby comes. Now, this makes me wonder, how long did they tell Jada that she has to live? Because I know for like a few people that I've encountered that have had cancer, a lot of times the doctors will tell them kind of like a range, It could be like, oh, 6 months, 3 months, 2 weeks. You know what I mean? So I'm just wondering what time they told her that she has left. But Darnell, again, he's trying to tell his wife, like, you got this. We can fight this. We can fight this. Let me fight for you. All the things. But Jada says she's tired. And I'm just like, oh, God. Once a person says that they tired, baby, they are going to be leaving soon, unfortunately. So Jada, she's like, she wants to tell Emmett and Keisha. But Darnell's like, no, like, they're finally happy. It's too soon to tell them. Let's just wait. I'm like, why? Why are we waiting? I would rather you tell them now so that way they can spend more time with Jada than for them to think that she's fine and that they don't have to check on Jada. You know what I'm saying? So moving on from there, y'all, this is a scene that pissed me off. When I say pissed me off, oh my God. We see Damien, okay? He's hanging out with Reg and Hannibal. Why? Of all people for him to hang out with, Reg and Hannibal. First of all, Hannibal shouldn't even be hanging out with Reg. That friendship makes no sense whatsoever. If y'all want to put Hannibal and Dante together, sure. But Reg, absolutely not. Two different type of people. It doesn't make sense at all. Then y'all gonna put Damien with them? Like, this is just something that makes absolutely no sense to me. But I guess this is what they needed to do for the storyline, okay? All right, fine. So they are talking sports, okay? And about, like, old stats, okay? I mean, like, Michael Jordan years in his prime. I'm like, who cares about these stats? Like, what are we doing? So here goes Reg. He wants to make a bet with Damien. Damien's like, no, I'm good. I ain't making no bets or anything like that. Reg is like, no, you gonna make this bet, whatever. Hannibal tells him, don't make the bet. But I feel like Hannibal is weak to me. Like, he don't even put no bass in his voice. I'm just like, you really could have, like, shut this down, but you never do because you're scared of Reg. Nonetheless, Damien isn't taking the bet. He had to answer some question about Michael Jordan's stats. He was off by one thing. So Reg is like, okay, well, you owe me. Keep in mind, the bet was for $5,000. $5,000 that Damien does not have, okay? So Reg is serious. Like, he's like, I want my money, and he wants it by tomorrow. By tomorrow, or he's going to beat Damien's ass. Again, why are you hanging out with him? And then we have Hannibal. He's sitting there like a lame. And for me, Damien still gives off goofy kid. Like, I need for us to be so for real. Like, how old is Damien supposed to be? Because he gives off goofy kid. And this has nothing to do with the actor that's playing Damien. It has all to do with the way the character is written. So then we see Damien, he is going around asking people for money. First person that he asks is Dom. She tells him, I can give you $1,000. That's it. She sends him $1,000. My whole thing is also, why are all his bets in the thousands? It could be like he owes $1,000 and he trying to rack up hundreds from people. Why is it $5,000? Like, that's a bit high. You know what I mean? But nonetheless, next thing you know, we see Damien, he's talking to Bakari. What happened to them being friends? What happened to their friendship? Because this is the first time that we've seen them be around each other in a minute. But he ends up asking Bakari for some money. And Bakari was like, okay, yeah, I can give you $1,000. Bakari got $1,000? Y'all, Bakari has $1,000. Why is Bakari sleeping on that couch if he has $1,000? I'm so confused. Because if Jake can afford his place that now Reg is staying at, I'm not understanding why he doesn't have money. Like, why doesn't Bakari have money? Nook, are you not giving this man any funds? We already know Doodah wasn't. But maybe you are. Maybe you are paying him and that's why he got $1,000. Like, I just don't understand how everybody is so broke on this show. Like, everybody's broke, like, for real. Bakari's in a full gang. They doing all of this stuff. He's broke. Okay? Shy supposed to be doing security for Alicia. I get it. You lost your housing. But why do you have to go sleep on Victor's couch? Why are you that broke? I'm not understanding. Don't get me started on the fact that everybody and their mama work at Smokey's. Like, how much money could you really be making working at the soul food restaurant? Everybody's broke on this show, and I'm sick of it. But nonetheless, Bakari also ends up telling Damien, like, why would you even with Reg in the first place? Like, he's a killer. Like, everybody knows this. And again, I'm just like, why doesn't he know this? But then later on, I realized that everybody in the city don't know that that man is alive. And I don't understand that either. Because the way this group works, you would think that information would definitely spread that Reg is alive. So, now this man only got $2,000. He said it's only one other place that he could go to ask for money, and that's his stepmom. And Bakari like, you gonna go ask Jada? And he's like, nah, actually, I can't do that right now, or whatever. And then he opens up to Bakari about the fact that Jada is, about to pass away. Like, her health is declining. And Bakari's like, man, you cannot go ask her for that money. You know what I mean? But he didn't have no choice. So Damien goes to see Jada. And he tells her about the bet. And how, he's learned his lesson. He swears that he's learned his lesson. But she's like, I don't think that you have. But she does end up giving him $2,000. He apologized to her for everything. He hugged her. But I have to be completely honest, y'all. I hated this scene. I hated this scene because this was their first time being on screen together, I feel like, as far as just them two having a conversation. And something was off for me. Something was off. I feel like it was the dialogue was off. And also at the same time, like I said, I think the better storyline would have been him helping Jada in her last days battling this cancer. That would have been the better storyline. I would have rather him even told her that then, to be like, you know what? To prove it to you, like, I'm about to be here every step of the way. Because at this point, she's realized that he knows about the cancer. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. That scene felt so off and weird to me. But y'all let me know what y'all thought about it. Let's go ahead and get to the part that took my breath away. Oh, I forgot to mention how we finally saw Emmett step up, y'all. He cleaned up the house, put the boys to bed, and did all the things that Keisha has been asking him to do. We should have known things were going to go wrong right after we saw that scene. But let's go ahead and talk about it. So, we actually see Damien. He goes over to give old boy the money. He goes over to see, what's his name? Reg. Walks up to him all slow, gives him the money. He's short by $1,000. And what did Reg do? He got up and beat him up. Like, bad. I mean, bloodied up. Okay? And Hannibal finally stands up and gets Reg up off of Damien. To the point where Damien, he like runs out the apartment, right? And Damien goes home, bloodied face, looking horrible. And Emmett is like, oh my God, what happened to you? What happened to you? Keisha. And Keisha's like, what is going on? So Damien ends up telling him that it was Reg. And Emmett was like, nah, Reg is dead. Like, nah, he alive. So I didn't even realize that Reg has still been, like, able to move silently. And people didn't know that he wasn't dead. And I'm like, that doesn't make sense. Like, it does not make sense that Emmett does not know that Reg is dead. Especially considering, at this point, everybody know that Alicia did it. But also at the same time, Jamal was delivering food to him. Jamal was literally delivering food to Reg. And Jamal is your employee. Like, I'm trying. I'm really trying, but I just feel like, considering everybody is in the same circle at this point, there's no way Emmett did not know that Reg wasn't still alive. But that's neither here nor there. He's pissed. Like, he's pissed off. He like, where he at? Where he at? And, of course, Keisha's trying to calm him down. Like, no, you don't need to go out there. Like, don't be stupid. Like, but no. Emmett was a hothead. Emmett went out there because Damien was like, he had Jake's apartment. Y'all, he beating on the door. I mean, bam, 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 beating on the door. Reg, get up. Keep in mind, he got the gun tucked, okay? And when he swing that door open, oh my gosh, Emmett bum rushed him, okay? Rushed him, swinging on him. I was like, finally somebody is really like whooping on Reg at this point. Y'all, he ends up shooting Emmett in the chest. He stands up over him, but he don't reach for the gun no more. He don't shoot him again. He's shot in the chest, and I feel like it's close to his heart, but it's not going to be his heart. I don't think that he's going to be dead. There's no way. There's no way you can kill Emmett. There is no way this show would kill Emmett off. Like, there's no way. I'm sorry. I just can't believe it. I'm just so pissed off because it's like, this did not have to go this way. At all. At all. But this is where we are. Y'all, he don't even know his mom about to die. Woo! This too much. This too much for me. Y'all, let me know what y'all thought about this episode. I was not expecting that. But, yeah. Let's talk about it in the comment section. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, y'all. And I will talk to y'all in my next review. Bye, guys.